We are the one, the light in the dark. One heart, one world, one spark. We are the one, together we rise. One dream, one voice, one sky.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Women Empowered Across the World. And I have amazing host with me always. I have Jackie Zaccoli from Arizona, her heart's global with her Gin Network. And then I have Megan, who is from South Africa. And she is, oh my goodness, she's all over the place too, inside of what she is up to. And then I have Maria, who is in UK, and she is actually in Kenya creating boreholes. And then I have Chinere that just joined us. Chinere, welcome. And she is from California. And I'm Carol Witt, and I am from Florida, and I run a global program collaborating with Jackie Zaccoli. Today, we have an amazing guest. I've gotten to know her over a certain platform, Alignable, and I was very excited to have her on today. And she's going to come and inspire us. So, Sam, come inspire us with your story.
Oh, wow. Thank you for having me. Oh my goodness. So where to start? And I always think, do I start at the beginning or past? So
Wherever
let
you want to.
okay. So I'll talk about what I'm doing now, and then I'll kind of reverse it and what brought me to here. So you and I met on Alignable, Carol, and I run a Alignable group for coaches. So I have Coach Connect Hub on Alignable, and then I'm not sure, are you an ambassador as well? I
No,
was,
I'm a
okay,
group leader.
right. Okay.
Regroup.
So that's how we met. We met through the groups on Alignable. And I used to be an ambassador of Alignable when I was in Calgary full time. Once I left Calgary, I make my time between Calgary and my niece's farm, which is outside of Edmonton. So I graciously stepped down from leading that Alignable group in Calgary because it's all about networking and being in person with people. So I had started Coach Connect Hub because I work with coaches. So I help mostly new coaches, mostly women. So I always say I help new coaches build their business, build their brand, get clients, build their confidence. That's where my sweet spot lies. And then through the work I've done over the years, I have worked with different entrepreneurs. I've also worked with men. However, I always say I work with women. I have 3 daughters. I have 3 sisters. I spend a lot of time around women, and this is perfect because I like empowering women too, Carol and Jackie, Megan, Mariah, and Chinerea. Okay, I'm trying to practice the names. All right. So that's what I'm doing now. Prior to that, I was a holistic nutritionist, and I taught nutrition. And then I had my nutrition students that would ask me about business building. And this goes back like 15, at least 15 years. And so what I do now was largely built through experience. So lots of trial and error in my own business as a coach, as a nutritionist, as a helper, a healer, all of those. I have a bachelor in metaphysical science. So all of those type of spiritual metaphysical worlds that we love living in, women empowerment, body, mind, spirit, all of those things. Before that, I was a social worker for almost 10 years while I had my kids. I left social work after I had my 3rd daughter, and then I decided to stay at home, build my own business. And I feel like I'm bouncing all around the place. However, when it comes to empowerment, I was always raised to, be proud of yourself, to be confident, raised on the farm. I actually am from Saskatchewan, another province, even though I've made my home in Alberta for a long time. And as daughters growing up from parents that farmed, it was always, just do your best. You can do it. Doesn't matter what it is. Persevere. That the adage I grew up with, Rafusses don't give up. So I do have that kind of dog with a bone mentality, even when it comes to my business or entrepreneurship or whatever it is. Whatever I'm doing, it's like there's got to be a way. So for me, building my entrepreneurial pursuits, I was okay with trial and error. And granted, and I say this to my clients all the time. When I started, my business was part-time around my kids' schedule. So I did all the things, the motherhood, getting them up, taking them to school. Some of them, or two of them, went to school. My youngest was in play schools when I was really starting to launch my part-time business. So there was a lot of learning how to manage your schedule and make the most of your time, all of those things. So a lot of what I did over the first 5-10 years, part-time of building my business, was a lot of trial and error. So what I like to bring to the table with my clients is a lot of them were me, say 15 years ago. And oftentimes in working with coaches, this is what I try to profess is lots of times your ideal clients are your former self. So you have already helped yourself, or you tried to find ways, or you've tried to get help, and you've discovered how to make progress, how to transform, how to improve. And these are the things that I teach my clients. So I have a signature program for women, which is an 8-week program, which is called the Enlightened Coach Pathway, where I work with a group of women. We work for 8 weeks on their confidence, on the clarity of their messaging, on client attraction. And then after 8 weeks, then we have a continued graduate group and alumni group, which is grown now to, I'll be starting my 5th cohort in July. So this is how my business has evolved. I have literally, just followed my own breadcrumbs and my own learning. Of course, through it all, there's always learning. I've taken, how many certifications. Those of us that are in the helping professions, we are never short of taking up upgrading, education, you name it. We are all lifelong learners. I hear it all the time. Yet we are the first ones to really and I'll speak for myself and from what I see with my clients, because oftentimes I talk about imposter syndrome, helping my clients overcome that with confidence. And the imposter syndrome is we're the first ones that doubt we don't have enough. We don't have enough certification. We don't have enough experience. We're always looking at, oh, well, I could do better. And I mean this in the most empowering, positive way, because it's what makes most of us that are amazing coaches at what we do. It makes us so good at what we do because we're constantly assessing ourselves. So let's see, what else can I talk about? I am just really passionate about helping women, about empowering women. This is why it's really exciting to be here and talk with you guys, because I think the more that we can lift each other up, the more that we can just say, you know what, you are so good at what you do. I can't do what you do. You can't do what I do. It's all part of it. It's what we bring to the table is the gift of who we are, what we do, who we serve, with that servant's heart, with love, with compassion, with empathy, and excellence. I talk a lot about that whole search for all of us for doing better, for taking more courses, for taking more certifications, for improving. That's part of what makes us so good at what we do. So I spend a lot of time with my clients on that, letting them see how I see them, how the world sees them. So this is what brought me to create the Enlightened Coach Pathway, so that we could bring everybody's excellence to the forefront and build on that. So, whew, I feel like I've talked forever. And you guys, I got to show you this. I have to show you this. And I don't know if you can see it, but it says Best
Yes,
Nana.
Anna. Yeah.
So I have to take a drink of water, but this is my pride and joy. My kids and my grandson said, "Nana, we got the best gift for your birthday," which was in May, and I went to Calgary and I spent Mother's Day and my birthday with the kids, my grandson, and got all filled up. But so I'm filled up with love every time I get to see my Nana cup.
I love it. Oh my goodness, I love it. I am so happy that you are somebody that empowers women because you do it in a big way. You don't do it in a small way. You're out there. You're really and truly out there reaching out and making yourself known. Thank you. Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
Absolutely.
And thinking of that, and this is what I've gotten recently, and I think Carol, you and I have talked about it in one of the other online recordings that we were on,
Mhm.
that I am an introvert by nature. And when people hear that, they always think, "What?" Because they see me talking, or I've had podcasts, I've had a video podcast. Jackie and I got to know each other from our online TV show. And honestly, before I did that online TV show, I was petrified. I was petrified that I was going to have to go live every week. And yes, yes, I have been speaking, I've been on stages, I've been teaching probably my whole life. I'm very comfortable in all of these different settings, but there is something about going on video. I don't know what it is. Now, after practice and doing it more, I'm a lot more comfortable. However, the only reason, well, one of the biggest reasons that I share about my introverted nature and how that was part of my overcoming all those years, like overcoming that nature and being scared to go out to events because I didn't know, how to talk to people, how to, like, I know, and people will say that's crazy because I see you all the time now, you're talking, you're doing what you're doing, and you teach people. However, we if we want to have a business, and I really wanted to have a business and I really wanted to help women, I had to find a way to overcome those insecurities. So it still comes upon me every now and then. However, I want to share my authentic self, because I talk about that a lot with my coaches too, that we don't have to be anything but who we are. And I never used to really share too much that I was an introvert and that it was more my nature. And I happened to say it one time in one of my alignable meetings. I don't know why. I just said something about there was a couple people in there that didn't want to introduce themselves, or they were feeling self-conscious. And I just blurted out and I said, "You guys, I know how you feel. I truly do, because I'm uncomfortable in new situations too." And the one woman said to me, "I never knew that. I never knew that you were feeling," because of course, then we talked about, what it feels like to come into new situations and not know what to say. And I always I always said, when I'm teaching or I'm doing this, I know what I'm going to talk about. Like, I could talk all day long about any of this stuff or things that I'm familiar with, but put me in a new situation with new people, I'm awkward. I'm the one that's sitting back. I'm the one that's like, I hope other people talk and I don't have to talk. So I found that by sharing this very openly, that I think it makes it all easier for all of us to go, "Oh, okay, you know what? We're all we're all just doing the best we can and wanting to help people."
So great. Because one of the things that when I invite people to be guests, they're like, "Oh, I don't have anything inspiring to share." And I'm like, "You have your story. It's
Yeah.
inspiring. I don't care what you think. We will be inspired by it." And we have never had one guest not inspire many, many people, you being one. So thank you. Thank you, Sam, for sharing all that you shared. Guys, does anybody have questions for Sam? I have a question for you, Sam. So,
Yes.
in knowing what you do on Alignable, what you do out there in LinkedIn and all over, really, honestly, social media, because I watch you. I kind of stalk you and see what you're doing and taking on, okay? And and it's really inspiring, very, very inspiring, especially inside the story of that you're an introvert. I get you push past that. You really and truly just bring yourself, and then you don't have to worry about it because that's just who you
Yeah.
are. So, you know, we have a lot of young people, and I'm always about our next generation of leaders that are coming up. Um, what could you offer them inside of really stepping out? Their journey's just starting. They're just graduating from college or high school, and what's next for them? What wise words of wisdom could you give them inside of moving forward when they do step are in that space of, I'm an introvert, what can I offer? What can I share? I'm petrified to be in front of people in the camera. What could you offer them?
Um, well, first of all, just be okay. And I know it sounds cliche, and just be okay with where you're at. Take stock of where you're at. Where do you want to be? I always say, clients, where do you want to be? I know it's a very coaching question, but look at it in baby steps. Where do you want to be in 3 months, or where do you want to be by the end of this year? And if this is the goal you want, say you want to get doing reels or something on social media. And you guys, I don't do too much of that. I always tell people, do what makes you feel comfortable first. So if you're already using social media and that's what you want to do, you want to get better at, then it takes daily practice, maybe even 5 minutes. So it's all about those daily habits, practicing, and do 2 or 3 practice run. You don't have to put them up there. When Jackie and I were doing the online weekly show, we had to show up at a certain time and you had to put on your content. And the very reason that I did that is because for 3 years I was saying I'm going to do content or video and I didn't do it. So for me, it's about um, figuring out what I want to do, and then what am I going to put in place to make sure I do it.
Have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just daily, even if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, it's daily is what adds up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I want to just share something really quickly, and that is this. Guys, when I knew I was going to take YEA online, because I was in a classroom, I'm an educator, I was in a classroom with 75 to 100 students. And when I knew I was going online, I was petrified. I'm old. What do I look like? How am I going to do this? And do you know what I did? I actually went to a Facebook group, only added myself, and I started just going live on for myself in getting used to seeing myself on camera, getting used to my energy on camera, what it looked like. And guys, I was ready when my course started in 2019 and we went online. I was ready because I wanted it so bad that I knew I was going to have to practice. So, Sam, thank you for sharing that. Guys, please don't let that be a stop. If this is the kind of life you want, you want to be out in front of the camera and know and having people know what you're up to and your greatness in the world. Don't let it be a stop that you feel like that's not something you can do. So, yes, thank you, Sam. Okay, Maria, you have a question. Go ahead.
It was really a comment because I'm also an introvert underneath and very, very shy when I was a child, completely, really, I wouldn't say boo to a goose. So I think it's really great that you shared that because there'll be so many people watching you on this video, and when Carol says, I really would like to invite you to be a guest, they will have heard you say you got over your shyness, basically. And so maybe there'll be if she can do it, maybe I can do it.
Mm.
And I also struggle a little bit with social media, thinking, oh gosh, if I post it and then what if somebody comes along and says they didn't like it or something? Because I stirred up something once. I just simply supported somebody who was a Holocaust victim, and it just blew up in my face. I literally just ran away from the whole thing, and I daren't go back to social media after that, because I thought, if just one comment can really blow it like that, you know. But with all our good people here, Carol, and with Jackie and Megan in my corner, you know, it's like I can do this. So all I'm saying is, you know, brilliant to you, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, Megan, go ahead. You have a question.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. I'm very curious about your birth date now. There's a few things you mentioned early on in your story, and I was just wondering, what is that birth date, first and foremost?
I love numbers. I'm really like, we could talk all day on numbers. May 13th.
You 13th. Okay. We almost birthday twins then. I'm May 16th, but you know that
Ooh.
that connection with nature and that groundedness, that determination, that stubbornness that you threw into the conversation, I recognized every bit of it. So I thought this one must be a close birthday.
I love it.
My question for you, when I'm coaching my youth, there's always that moment that really sticks with you when somebody turns that corner, right? So for me, with my youth, when I'm teaching them about their self-awareness and just showing them what they come to the table with, and you see them embrace that and actually believe it for the first time. That's my moment with my kids, where I really feel like I'm making a difference. What is your moment in that space that you operate in?
Well, because most of my coaches are women, and most of them have taken lots of training, and they're either early on their coaching career or they've been struggling to get their ideal clients. I think when we work together and they see between what I've drawn out of them, so I've got all the information out of them, and then I give them what I call their brand blueprint. Like,
Yes.
who is their ideal audience? Who do they speak to? And I've got all their messaging that I've created for them. And most of them read it and go, this is me. Like, most of them are like, wow, like this is me. And oh, it's like, you know me. I'm like, yeah, I do, between
Yeah.
everything that we've worked on. So I think the aha moment is when they see themselves as I do and others.
Yes.
Mm.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Wow.
That on-
Okay, Chinere, can you just introduce yourself really, really quickly to Sam, because you came late, so she
Thank you.
knows who you are.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hey, Sam, I'm Chinyere, and I'm known for Chichi. I'm in Northern California, Patterson to be precise. I am global, and I'm also here empowering women as well as empowering our youths.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
So, thank you so much for bringing up who you are. I too was very shy when I was little. I never liked to take pictures, right? But now I'm a picture queen. Every day I have to put myself out there. So, but I want to ask you, as a coach, when do you feel it's okay to really add finances to it? Like, when do you really start charging? Because most of the things that we do is free, right? So, how do you really come to the point of saying, you know what? I know I'm offering all these free services, but it's also time to make a little money out of it. How do you do that and, and not feel bad about it? Because time is money, experience is priceless, but when do we really come up and say, you know what, I can charge you a little bit and not feel bad about it?
Oh,
Oh,
wow. That's
wow.
a lot to unpack. That's a big answer. The short answer, Chinere, is I've been through that journey. So I've been through, like, I always use, I like to talk in examples. So I'll tell my clients early on, I was scared to charge $20, and we're going back almost 20 years.
Mhm.
And so I've been through the journey of, yes, it's great that we can serve people for free. However, I take my clients through what I call, you go from free to an introductory offer. So you get used to trying to charge some money. And then it's all based on value. What I teach my clients is, what is the value that your clients are getting from you? And if you're demonstrating that you can help them, then there's money to be made in coaching. You just have to have your pathway. So there is a path, Chenere.
So beautiful. Oh my God, I love all these questions. I love this platform. It so speaks to all of us out there. And we all need cheerleaders and people on our side, cheering us on in what we're up to and doing. We need women to unite with one another. There's been a lot of division. So that's what this platform's all about. So Sam, thank you for today. Oh, Jackie has a question, and then we'll have to end. Go ahead, Jackie.
Well, it's the obvious one that I always ask.
I know.
You always know which one I'm going to ask.
Uh-huh.
What do you
That's
need,
why I call
Sam?
on you. Even at
Yeah.
the end, I want you to ask that question.
What do you need?
What do I need?
Yeah.
I always like to let people know, like, what I need is people to know about my programs, to know the Enlightened Coach Pathway, and my Enlightened Coach Pathway, it's a pay what you can model. And Chenere, that's what comes into what I teach as well, is I teach coaches how to start and grow their business. So yeah, just to share about me, and I want to share about you guys. It's all about us lifting each other up. So thank you, Jackie.
Wow. Wow.
Do you know Trisha Perito
I believe so.
or Pramelia Parham?
I don't know about that one. The first name sounds familiar.
Well, she lives around the corner and up your block.
Okay.
Love it.
Literally. Actually, I think she's in Victoria. I don't think she's quite that close, but
Yeah.
She's relatively close. So both of those are coaches of coaches, mostly
Nice.
in the healing space.
Oh, excellent.
So, okay, I'll go ahead and do that as
I
well
would
for
love
the
that.
three of you. Yeah.
Wow. I love this. It's a way for us to connect, collaborate our amazing differences together and moving us forward. So that's what this platform's all about. Guys, if you love these episodes, please, please subscribe to our channel. Please share it everywhere. Let's make these episodes go viral so many young people that are stepping into their journey can really learn from so much beautiful information. So if you would like to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to one of us. We're all over LinkedIn. Reach out to one of us and please bring your story. Inspire many with it and be a guest on our podcast, okay? Last thing is, guys, we all deserve to thrive. Let's do it together. Bye, everyone.
You.
In this war, there's no divide.